Upon discovering that her twin sister's engaged, a woman seduces her sister's fiance to expose his dark secrets. One day, Zoe Mercer guides her identical twin sister, Anna, in setting up her dating profile. She notices that Anna's profile appears weak in attracting possible suitors, so she provides her with straightforward criticisms. One thing she strongly recommends is that Anna lies about her age, opining that lying is the foundation of every relationship. Through her guidance, Anna eventually finds a date. However, the man confesses that Gus isn't his real name but Nick. He clarifies that Gus is his middle name, and he doesn't want an acquaintance to find him on the site. Curious, Anna inquires if he's married, but Nick vehemently denies it. Because of his reaction, Anna wishes that he'll always be honest with her, and he agrees. After dinner, Nick takes Anna to a club to enjoy the night. As Anna waits for Nick, she notices that Zoe's observing her from afar. Her sister's appearance at the establishment baffles her, thinking she's spying on her. Anna scans the crowd and spots Nick waiting for her on the dance floor. He invites her to dance, and the woman gladly accepts it. That night, their romantic relationship begins. The next day, Zoe visits Anna's workplace, a community resource center, to confront her for ignoring her texts. In Anna's defense, she simply had a busy morning, but her reason doesn't soothe Zoe's uneasiness. She worries that something grim has happened to her sister. While at it, she inquires if Anna's date is named Gus, but her sister denies it. Anna explains the reason behind Nick's use of a different name on the dating site, which makes Zoe skeptical. For her, Nick might be married or hiding something, but Anna dismisses her claims. Anna admits she likes him as he performs a romantic deed after their first date. Suddenly, Anna remembers seeing Zoe at the club, so she interrogates her about it. However, Zoe swiftly evades the subject and invites Anna to lunch instead. In the following days, Anna continuously meets Nick, deepening their relationship. On the other hand, Zoe visits their parents' house and converses with their mother Alexia about Anna's newfound romance. Zoe voices her distrust for the man, believing that he's hiding his wickedness. Alexia is optimistic that Nick might be different from the rest, but Zoe disagrees. That night, Anna brings Nick to her house, and the man marvels at its opulence. He wonders how she can afford the residence, especially since she's working at a shelter. Anna reveals that she was born with a trust fund from her parents. Since she has a privileged life, she wants to do something in return to the community. After their conversation, the pair makes love and professes their love for each other. The next morning, Nick notices a framed photo of Anna and Zoe, making him realize that his girlfriend has a twin. When Anna arrives at the room, Nick inquires about her sister, and the woman introduces her to him. Nick asks if Zoe lives in the house with her, and Anna confirms. In addition to her sister's background, Anna reveals that Zoe has a rough past because she suffered from substance dependence. Therefore, she strives to support her. On the same day, Anna accompanies Nick in visiting his mother at the hospital. The man is emotional as his mother is discovered to be suffering from cancer. Despite her diagnosis, Pamela retains her cheerfulness and positive outlook in life. Pamela notices Anna's presence, making her wonder who she is in Nick's life. Anna takes the honor of introducing herself, emphasizing she's Nick's friend. Following their brief acquaintance, Anna notices that Pamela's feet are cold, so she volunteers to attend to them. Moments later, outside the hospital, Nick abruptly proposes to Anna after witnessing her compassion. Without hesitation, Anna accepts, and the new couple celebrate their milestone by sharing a kiss. At that moment, Rebecca, Nick's sister, appears, surprising them. Nick introduces Anna to his sister, but Rebecca isn't enthusiastic about his fiancé. By the evening, Zoe criticizes Anna's sudden engagement with Nick, especially since they only just met. Moreover, she complains that Anna has yet to introduce her to him officially, and there's no engagement present on her ring finger. For Anna, the abruptness of Nick's proposal made the moment romantic. She insists that Nick's intentions are sincere, but Zoe refuses to believe it, stressing her sister's naive. Provoked, Anna calls Zoe damaged, which causes her extreme distrust. The following day, Anna dons the diamond engagement ring Nick prepared. The couple are on their way to meet Anna's parents. Before their meal, David interrogates Nick about how long he's known Anna. Nick reveals they only know each other for 2 months, much to David's surprise. However, Nick assures David he's serious about Anna. His declaration amuses David, but he proceeds to ask Nick if Anna has informed him about her past. Nick answers he only knows the basics. Before they can continue their conversation, Anna appears and invites them to dinner. On the day of meeting Nick's family, Anna feels welcomed in Pamela's presence, whereas Rebecca remains uptight with her. This is evident when Anna requests her to be one of her bridesmaids, and Rebecca reluctantly accepts. Out of joy, Anna hugs her, but Rebecca quickly withdraws herself from her grasp. The couple's relationship is tested when Nick receives a phone call from Zoe, who invites him for dinner. However, she clarifies that Anna mustn't learn of their secret rendezvous as they have important matters to discuss. Inside a hotel bar, Zoe's sensual allure captivates Nick, rendering him speechless. Because of this, Zoe leads the conversation, asking him if he can talk. Nick confirms and explains he's simply taking time to accustom himself to the twins' indistinguishable appearance. With less enthusiasm, Zoe proceeds to interrogate Nick about the presence of his dating profile despite his engagement with Anna. In his defense, he just forgot to delete it, but he assures her he isn't using them anymore. The woman proceeds to criticize his dating profile, making him uncomfortable. Abruptly, Zoe stands up and orders Nick to take her to dinner. At the restaurant, Nick initiates the conversation by asking Zoe about her job. She reveals she's an actress and a model, piquing his interest. Teasingly, she informs him she had an earlier gig wherein she modeled seductive lingerie. Zoe's revelation catches Nick off guard, but he tries to keep a calm composure. As a way to test him, Zoe pretends to touch his hand accidentally. Nick becomes confused about her actions, but the woman keeps a smug look. Continuing their conversation, Zoe presses Nick to divulge the secrets he refused to share with Anna. Nick insists he's not using any of his dating profiles and even volunteers to prove his claims. Regardless, Zoe dismisses his words and asks if he informed Anna about their meeting. Nick admits he didn't since he obeyed Zoe's prior instruction. Finding his reason humorous, the woman teases him that he doesn't have to listen to her. Now that he's uncomfortable, Zoe communicates her intentions to Nick. Zoe emphasizes she's protecting her delicate sister as she believes Anna deserves to be happy. Therefore, she'll ensure that Nick won't hurt her sister, especially since Anna had a terrible marriage. This shocks Nick because Anna didn't disclose such important information to him. Before ending their conversation, Nick inquires about Zoe's reason for inviting him, and the woman simply reveals that he intrigues her. Zoe proceeds to seduce Nick and even tells him about her hotel room. Later that night, Nick can't resist Zoe's temptation, so he visits her hotel room. Inside, Nick comes across Zoe, who happens to be waiting for him. Zoe hands him a glass of liquor, and Nick downs it for he needs the courage from it. Now fueled with desire, the pair begins their passionate affair. The following morning, Nick receives a phone call from Anna, who's worried about him. He lies that he and his friends overdid it last night and fails to reply to her texts. To capture Anna's emotions, Nick tells her that he prefers her company over his friends. Touched, Anna invites him to accompany her in dealing with the catering for their wedding. Nick refuses, reasoning that he isn't feeling well. Anna volunteers to take care of him, but he declines. Unbeknownst to her, Nick has other plans that night. Once again, he sleeps with Zoe. The next day, Nick visits Anna's workplace and gives her a bouquet of red roses. Anna's colleague, Vera, appears and supposes that Nick is in trouble because of the flowers. Anna perceives it as a mere humorous joke, but Nick becomes uncomfortable as Vera's words are close to the truth. Vera informs Anna that Zoe called earlier, worrying her. According to the woman, Zoe wants to know if Anna is mad at her for not helping at her wedding. Anna finds it sweet that her sister has the initiative to check on her. However, Vera relays the reason Zoe has been busy for the last few days. Her sister happens to be sleeping with an attractive man, making Nick feel guilty. Afterward, Nick wonders why they haven't talked about their exes. Anna believes they should focus more on the future, but she still shares the lore behind her short-lived marriage. Back then, her ex-husband slept with Zoe, leading to their breakup. This surprises Nick, so he asks if Anna forgave Zoe. Anna confirms, believing her sister was vulnerable at that time due to substance dependence. One day, Zoe visits the bridal boutique where Anna's fitting her possible wedding gown. Zoe thinks the gown is modest, so she recommends Anna try a more revealing and daring one. Anna refuses because she doesn't want to be a spectacle. For Zoe, it's finally Anna's time to be seen, but the bride takes offense to her sister's statement. While Anna's busy with the wedding preparations, Nick wallows himself in Zoe's seduction. Because of this, Nick's colleague Hal notices his performance at work is declining. Back in the the bridal boutique, Isabel chastises Anna for allegedly ruining the wedding dress. Anna denies being the culprit, but she promises to pay for the damages. Now that she needs a new outfit for the wedding, Anna requests to try on the backless dress Zoe recommended. During the dress fitting, Anna tries her best to like the dress, but her discomfort is visible. Later, a dejected Anna visits her parents' house, and David comforts her. Anna declares that she wants to leave Zoe's shadow, which relieves her father. That night at the twins' apartment, Anna confronts Zoe for sabotaging her wedding dress. Zoe expresses that she's just trying to help her, but the woman thinks it's her twin sister's excuse to be casually mean to her. Not wanting to continue the conversation, Zoe abruptly stands up to leave. Out of spite, Anna informs her she doesn't even care if Zoe misses the wedding. Outside the apartment, Zoe meets Nick in his car for an intimate moment. After the deed, Nick mentions his previous conversation with Anna, during which they discussed her previous marriage. He confronts Zoe for being the reason for the breakup. In Zoe's defense, it's Anna's ex-husband's fault as he chose to be dishonest with their relationship. In other words, he failed Zoe's test. Nick wonders if what they're doing is also a test that he failed, and Zoe confirms. When Nick becomes silent, Zoe invites him to run away with her. Nick's confused about whether Zoe's urging him to choose between her and Anna. Zoe tells him he has to, silencing him. Because of his silence, Zoe gives him two choices. She'll leave or she'll confess their affair to Anna. Again, Nick remains silent, so Zoe asks if he wants her to end it. Nick gives his approval, upsetting her. The next day, Rebecca visits Alexia and learns about the twins' background. Alexia shares that Zoe is the rebellious child, whereas Anna is the angelic one. She emphasizes that Anna always suffers from womanizing men. Suddenly, David interrupts their conversation, and Alexia introduces her to Rebecca. David checks if Rebecca needs anything, but his wife assures him they're fine. She tells him they're supplying Rebecca with the information she needs regarding their family. Upon hearing that, David invites Rebecca to converse with him, and the woman accepts. Alexia becomes emotional, urging Rebecca to check on her. The woman insists that Zoe and Nick's affair isn't her daughter's fault. Shortly after her conversation with David, Rebecca leaves the house with a heavy heart. Immediately after, she visits the twins' residence to talk with Anna. Moments later, Nick receives a phone call from Anna wherein his fiancée breaks up with him upon learning about his infidelity. Wanting to salvage his relationship, Nick goes to the twins' apartment. Once he opens the door, he discovers Anna's lifeless body on the floor. He tries to call for help, but someone strikes his head with a bat, knocking him unconscious. By the evening, Nick awakens and notices Anna's body inside the carpet. As the man mourns for her, Zoe appears and threatens to strike him with a bat if he keeps on making unnecessary noise. The distraught man confronts her for what she's committed, and Zoe explains she simply executed his choice of ending things. Now, Nick wants Zoe to pay for her crime, so he declares to contact the authorities. However, Zoe informs him she framed him as the culprit for Anna's death by spreading his DNA at the crime scene. To spook him, Zoe points out that Anna's blood is present on his jacket. Left without a choice, Nick follows Zoe's instructions on disposing of Anna's body. He heads to a building that has an incinerator and proceeds to burn his fiance's body. The next morning, Nick awakens from the sound of a breakfast preparation. Zoe invites him to eat, and the man complies. However, he's baffled to see Zoe acting like Anna, and she's even wearing the engagement ring. Now that guilt is haunting him, Nick heads to the Mercer's residence to confess Anna's death. David notices Nick's arrival, which leads him to check on him. Nick emotionally admits he's not doing fine, so David invites him inside to talk. In David's office, Nick informs him that Anna's gone, alarming him. Since Nick's confused about what's transpired, he simply tells him that one of his daughters is dead. He blames himself for how the events have unfolded, confessing that he had an affair with Zoe. Instead of admonishing him, David reveals that Zoe actually died 3 years ago. Back then, she experienced a bad breakup, causing her to end her own life. It was Anna who found her lifeless body on the ground. According to the authorities, Zoe's death is an aggressive retaliation. David's confused as to why they ruled it with such since Anna was devoted to her sister. Despite his story, Nick refuses to believe it, so David shows him a photograph of Zoe's body. The man explains that whenever Anna transforms into Zoe, he shows her the photo to return her senses. Nick becomes furious upon learning this, especially since David never informed him about it beforehand. For David, he hopes that their relationship will help her return to her sanity. This further enrages Nick as Anna's delusion resulted in her ending someone else's life. It turns out that Anna planned her pseudo-death by recreating Zoe's death. Then, she conspired with a man from the shelter to strike Nick's head. In the middle of their conversation, David mentions Rebecca. He reveals reveals that she knows the twins' history since he told her everything. Nick checks his phone and discovers that Pamela texted him about Rebecca's sudden disappearance. Because of this, Nick's realization materializes. It's her sister's body which he disposed of in the incinerator. Before Nick can share his realization, Anna appears, fueling his anger. He follows her to the living room, but David stops him before he can hurt her. Nick accuses Anna of killing Rebecca, but the woman persuades David that her fiance is lying. Provoked, Nick chases Anna up the stairs and he's able to trip her. Still, Anna kicks him, allowing her to escape. Nick gains his footing, so he ascends the stairs and enters Anna's childhood room. Inside, he sees Alexia comforting Anna. Nick confronts Anna for orchestrating such a charade, causing them to quarrel. David mediates and urges Anna to explain what's transpired, but the woman reminds him of his own infidelity. According to Anna, his unfaithfulness damaged Zoe. David insists they resolve the issue in the past and persuades his daughter to cooperate with them. He believes that Anna can still be saved. After professing his love for his daughter, David hugs her, but she fatally stabs him. While Alexia mourns David's death, Anna tries to kill Nick, but the man is able to subdue her. As he takes the knife from Anna's grasp, Alexia knocks him unconscious. Shortly after, Nick awakens to the sirens outside the house. He grabs the knife and descends the stairs. Once he reaches the door, Alexia and Anna deem him as the culprit of the killings. Defeated, Nick surrenders and accepts his tragic fate. By the morning, Alexia is comforting Anna when the woman asks for her forgiveness. She reveals that she is the reason Zoe ended her life. Admittedly, she slept with Zoe's boyfriend, whom her late twin loved the most. Though her revelation hurts, Alexia condones her daughter's wicked actions.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.